Yes, yes, yes. Hello, people. We are back with um uh recap on the semifinals. It was a very, very hectic between two teams that I don't really have much of a preference in this tournament recent years. But let's just go for the Sudamericana first. Very, very good games. Oh my God, Liga de Quito, what the heck? Paulo Guerrero, how old is he? Like 42 or something? How is he scoring in a semi-final of the Sudamericana still? Now, we've seen multiple strikers in this one. Obviously, Ronaldo said he will continue until 2027, until he's 42. How many years does Paulo Guerrero still have? I won't be,
58.
yeah, I won't be surprised if he's still playing at the next World Cup, to be honest, if they qualify. Yeah, Liga de Quito winning 3-0. Yeah, I was over there at that game. Defense, obviously. Standing no chance in this first leg. I mean, if you lose 3-0 going to the second leg, it's very hard to um, turn it around. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this? Because Liga de Quito, they're looking like they could win this. They could win this. Defense are going out insane. What a performance! What a performance!
Yeah, it was insane. I was not expecting this. The first game, in the first half, Liga de Quito completely ran with it. They created so many chances, and they deservedly were 2-0 up at halftime. Paulo Guerrero with the brace. Two quick finishes, very good. And yeah, I thought that Liga de Quito maybe even deserved to go 3-0 up because they were so fantastic in that first half. Defensa showed absolutely nothing in that first half in Quito. In the second half, however, I feel like Defensa clearly improved and maybe deserved to get a goal back, but they were unlucky. They couldn't finish their chances, and instead they conceded a third. It was an amazing strike from Piovi from outside the box, and yeah, Liga de Quito got that massive 3-0 win. Considering how they've played in the first half, probably deserved, but I feel like Defensa could have gotten a goal back or something. And then in Argentina, it was going to be a miracle for Defensa to pull up the comeback or something, but they were pretty unlucky. They hit the post three times in the second leg. They couldn't finish their chances, and you know what? In the end, the second game wasn't dramatic because Defensa couldn't score. It was sad to see because Defensa had put up amazing performances against Botafogo and against these type of teams in the Sudamericana in previous stages. And Liga de Quito, they proved me wrong. When they went to penalties against Ñublense, I was like, this team is not going far. But then they pushed Sao Paulo to the limit. They knocked them out. And now, in convincing fashion, they knock out Defensa. And I feel like Liga de Quito deservedly make the final. They cruised through, and yeah, they did a fantastic job taking care of business in the first leg and defending in the second. So yeah, massive props to Liga de Quito and Defensa. Tough luck, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and the next game, a fully Brazilian semifinal. Corinthians obviously getting a draw at home, but lose 2-0. So, yeah, I think Fortaleza, I think this is a deserved final, I would say. Um, Obviously, Fortaleza being not a huge club, but they're up there in Brazil. So, Corinthians, it's tough to say that they underperform or overperform. It's very tough because they got out in a tricky group and then they got into this competition, which many people saw this as favorites. But yeah, Fortaleza in the final, it will be interesting to see because they have a very interesting team squad. Manager is quite good, I guess, but I really rate this Fortaleza team. I think they're a very good team. Obviously, it could have been different semifinals by looking at how things could have ended. It could have been great. We could have had Nublense against Defensa in the semifinal. We could have had maybe a Coca in the semifinal versus Fortaleza or Corinthians. We could have had different clubs. But yeah, eras comes to an end. And yeah, it's Corinthians. They played very, very good in the first leg, but they did not perform that well in the second leg. Like, it's fully deserved final, which hopefully it's a lot of goals. What's your take on Corinthians being kicked out on this competition in the semi-final?
Yeah. Well, about your question about if Corinthians under or overperformed, I feel like they overperformed. We saw in the group stage of Copa Libertadores that they were really not that great. And, they were pretty lucky in some of their ties. I remember against Estudiantes, they should have gone out. They took the game to penalties after a horrendous second leg, and they managed to advance on penalties. Against Universitario, they fielded a B team in like both games and managed to advance because Universitario were pretty incompetent and couldn't score. So I feel like Corinthians were asking to be eliminated for a long, long time. And after the first leg, they sacked their coach, Vanderlei Luxemburgo, and set Mano Menezes as their coach for the second leg, which didn't make any sense because Mano Menezes is a horrible coach. And yeah, I feel like they just completely doomed themselves. And Fortaleza, I feel like exposed them. I feel like Fortaleza is a very serious team. Corinthians were not looking great, and Fortaleza exploited them at their most of as the best of their capacities in the first leg, hitting early with that goal from Seu Everton. And they conceded a goal to Yuri Alberto on the counter-attack, and then in the second half was pretty boring. Both teams just kind of not wanting to lose. Corinthians obviously having a bit more of the initiative for being at home, but once the game ended 1-1, I knew it was over because Fortaleza at home are a different team. In their stadium, they are so strong, and we saw it. It took them a while because the first half was pretty close, but in the second half, it all started with Iago Pikachu, not the Pokemon, the player, who scored the first goal for them. He's been such a key player on the right wing for them. I feel like Fortaleza like to play a lot on the wings, and it's been working for them wonderfully. Their wingers like to dribble and make a lot of crosses, and that creates a lot of trouble for the opposing teams. And it created a lot of troubles for Corinthians, who then conceded from a set piece to the captain for Fortaleza, Triga, I think it's his name. So yeah, it was a pretty convincing performance from Fortaleza. Deservedly, they made the final. Corinthians are complete frauds. I don't know how they got this far, but they finally got eliminated. And yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting final. Fortaleza and Liga de Quito. Fortaleza, of course, they are making their first continental final in their history. Fortaleza had never been to a Sudamericana or Libertadores final in their history, and they are finally here. And Liga de Quito, they are a team that is known for competing in Ecuador. They've won Libertadores before, they've won Sudamericana before. Can they make it another international trophy? It would be huge for them. The storylines all over the place for this final.
Yeah, so let's just get on with these two. Yeah, which team should we go first?
We should go in chronological order, right? We should go with the Wednesday games before.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking if we could go Fluminense International
Yeah.
games first, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's just screw it. Fluminense 2-2 at home. They played very, very good, but they scored 2 goals by German Cano, good striker. And we saw with International, they turned it around to 2-1, and then they conceded. Like, well, what is wrong with this team? Why are you turning the game around and then concede? That's just stupid to let uh, Firmino score the second. Because in the second leg, obviously if they won 2-1 and then they scored first goal, anyways, um, they would have been a lot better coming into uh, the game. Because if they won 2-1 away and then they scored at home first, then predictable that the game would have been done. Um, but yeah, Fluminense over 2 legs, they were just a better team. And Fluminense now going to the final, which for me is not. Is it that shocking? I don't know, to be honest, but yeah, International going to the semi-final. Um, I did not see that happening. I thought they would have gone out earlier. Um, like it shows you can't rely on a goalkeeper and a striker all the time. And in Valencia, he showed that he is a big fraud. Uh, Rochet, obviously not a fraud, but I think Rochet was very good at these 2 games. But Ener Valencia can't rely on how old is he? Like 35. You can't
Uh,
rely.
Something like that.
Yeah. What's your take on this Fluminense going through? Because I think they performed really, really well. Um, I think they could have won by more goals, in my opinion.
Well, this was a fantastic semi-final. For those who say watching two Brazilian teams play is boring, watch this game because this was a two fantastic games of football. Actually, like both games were fantastic. The first game in the Maracanã, super intense, super high-paced. Both teams going at each other. Mostly in Copa Libertadores games, we see teams reach these stages and they have more fear of losing than desire to win. In this series, both teams wanted to win, and you could see it because Fluminense strike early through Germán Cano, who's the top goal scorer of the competition. He's been in fantastic form. I believe he's the top goal scorer like worldwide this year, which is crazy to think about. And he's not called up for the Argentina national team because we have Lautaro and Julian, but whatever. Um, Cano has been on amazing form and he keeps on performing for Fluminense. And yeah, Internacional, surprisingly, I did not expect them to fight back after that because, you know, they are under Chacho Coudet, who is a fraud of a manager, and they were playing on the road. But they managed to turn the game around with Thiago Maya and Alan Patrick. Ener Valencia having like two great assists for those goals. So it was it was a very good performance for Internacional for a moment there where they managed to turn the game around and Fluminense looked scared. Like Fluminense were on the verge of losing at home and the tie would have been very difficult after that. But then Germán Cano shows up again and scores the second to make it 2-2. It was a very thrilling game, very back and forth. Both teams were amazing and it left everything wide open for the second leg where there's a mistake because Fabio trips over his own teammate in a corner, and that leaves Gabriel Mercado to score the winner through a header. I mean, the opener through a header um, very early into the match. And, you know, Internacional took control of the game. In Fluminense looked completely lost after that. They did not, like, usually under Diniz, we see Fluminense play free flowing football. They were not able to show that through most of the second leg. Internacional were dominating the game, and Internacional should have closed it out. Internacional should have won this game. They had the chances. Ener Valencia had like 3 1-on-1s that he wasted. He had a header that he was wide open from a set piece, and his header was way off. So yeah, Ener Valencia couldn't close out the game for Internacional, who had all the chances. And at halftime, we saw it was leaked the speech that Diniz gave to the players at halftime. It reminded me a bit of like Herb Renard in Saudi Arabia against Argentina. You know, fueling the players. He was so mad at the players because he thought they could play a lot better, that they were not doing enough. And we saw in the second half that Sean Kennedy comes onto the pitch and he completely changes the game. Fluminense look a lot more free flowing, and even though Internacional is creating chances on the counter, Fluminense is hitting a lot back, and then it was 10 minutes and it's over. Internacional just had to hold on for 10 minutes and they concede. They concede to John Kennedy, who chips it over the keeper wonderfully after a play, an assist from Germán Cano. And okay, the game is heading to penalties. Internacional have bottled it. And then they bottle it even more because they allow Germán Cano inside the box and he finishes off the tie with that goal in the 87th minute. Fluminense turned the game around in 6 minutes. Like, how do you choke like that? Internacional completely shocking how they couldn't close out the tie, and Fluminense strike back. They advance to the final, their second ever Libertadores final in history. So it's gonna be huge for them. They are gonna want to win their first Copa Libertadores, but their opponents have something to say about it.
Yeah, because the next game, Boca going through after penalties. I'm saying this and then leaving it to Renk. Boca going from penalties. It's common in this year's Libertadores. It's very common. And Boca is saving football. That's very good. Boca is saving football, and Libertadores is coming to Boca. It's coming. It's coming. People, it's coming. It's coming up. Boca, I think, played very good in the second leg. Basically, not really that much to happen first leg, but yeah, second leg it was just oof. Romero, penalty saver. Oof. He was cooking. Yeah, but yeah, very deserving for Boca. I think going to the final is huge for the club, for the country as well. The Boca can now win the Libertadores, huge in Brazil. Gonna be a very fun final, and yeah. And when Renk is back, I'm gonna leave it to Renk to talk, because Jesus Christ. So yeah, Renk, take your time on the Boca Palmeiras game. Just speaking about this game because very, very intense.
Sorry, I had to answer the door. Someone was.
Yeah, I think it's time. Just go for it. Go for the Boca game. Just do it.
Okay. Well, this was another crazy semifinal. Both semifinals were completely insane, very back and forth. In the first leg, in La Bombonera, Boca played a fantastic game. I was not expecting it. I was expecting us to, have a lot of possession but not create a lot of chances. But Boca were actually pretty free attacking flowing, and we created a lot of chances. It was super intense. But we didn't manage to score. I was super mad about that because we really deserved to win that game. Palmeiras did pretty much nothing that game, and Boca just creating those chances with Cavani. Cavani had like 3 clear chances, and that he created for himself. To be fair, like he did a great job creating those chances, but he couldn't finish them. Barco was a clear attacking threat. He was also making a lot of the defending. Almiron decided to sub him off for some reason. I believe he was not 100% fit or something. Then we had a disallowed goal. There was a lot of things going on that game. But we didn't manage to score, and it was very frustrating.
I am having a very bad day.
Yeah, that was me, after the...
Yeah, that was the Palmeiras fans after the game.
Yeah, but that was me after the first leg was over, because like I knew we should have won that game and we didn't, and we had to go to Sao Paulo to win the tie, and it was very tense. Palmeiras were having a lot of the ball, but they weren't creating that many chances. They weren't creating like big quality chances in that first half. And through a counterattack, Merentiel runs down the left-hand side, outpaces Gustavo Gomez, and puts in a clinic cross for Cavani to tap it in, and makes it 1-0 for Boca. And at that point, I was losing my mind because we were winning in Brazil. We had not scored in like I don't know how many games, and we had scored against Palmeiras in Brazil, and yeah, we were winning the tie, and it was amazing. But after that, I feel like Almiron got scared. Almiron didn't know how to defend the lead with his team. He chose, okay, we're gonna sub in another center back, but he subbed on Valdez, who is like our worst center back. You saw in Super Clásico how horrible he was, and you still sub him in a Libertadores semi-final, subbing out Merentiel, who had played a fantastic game up until then, and Palmeiras just started growing into the game. Then Rojo makes a stupid mistake because he picks up a yellow card that probably should have been a red already. Like he was already playing for free, and then he makes another back tackle and gets sent off for no reason. And yeah, from that point onwards, it was impossible for us to score another goal. And yeah, we stopped playing. We just sat back defending, and I was like, if we all sit inside the box, it's not gonna work because they are gonna put in crosses or they are gonna shoot from outside the box and they are gonna score. And that's exactly what happened after a set piece. Piqueres, the Uruguayan left back, with a wonderful shot from outside the box, manages to find the back of the net and make it 1-1. And after that, the game developed into pure chaos. It was so chaotic, everything, because Palmeiras were trying to create so many chances and Boca defending for whatever we could with 10 men. Romero making some fantastic save. He made like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 really clutch saves on one-on-ones. And yeah, in the last minute, Ronnie had like a bicycle kick that Romero saved, like point blank. It was so good. And yeah, Palmeiras, you could tell that they were desperate because they knew that if the game went to penalties, they were going to be at a disadvantage. But they didn't manage to find that winner that they needed. The game went to penalties. Cavani misses the first penalty, and I was like, oh gosh, we are not doing this. But then Chiquito Romero, as always, comes up clutch in penalties, stops Vega, stops Gustavo Gomez, and from then it was just us scoring our chances. Valdez, Valentini, Figal, and Paul Fernandez. Redemption for this man who I criticize so much. He had 2 amazing games against Palmeiras and scored the winning penalty to take Boca to the final again after 5 years. Since 2018, Boca didn't make a Libertadores final. We are looking to win our 7th Libertadores in the Maracanã. I could not be more happy, like more excited about this final. It's gonna be insane. And even though, yes, we advanced through all of the ties on penalties, we didn't win a single game in the knockouts. But I feel like we were the better team in all 3 of the games. Like, honestly, no bias. We played the better football in all 3 ties. And yes, we had to rely on penalties, but that's where a goalkeeper like Romero comes up clutch. Like, you need to have these clutch players because you never know when a game might go to penalties. You need to have someone who can save you there. And we have one. And that's completely amazing because that means that even at a draw, and if the game goes to penalties in the final, I know that we have someone we can rely on, and the players have confidence in that. So it's gonna be fantastic. Of course, we're gonna do a preview of the final later down the line, but for now, I'm super happy about Boca making the final. These were 2 amazing semifinals we had.
And also, what were my yeah, it's gonna be preview predictions. We're gonna check the roads for the 2 teams, all the way that they have done, and yeah, we're gonna do all that kind of stuff in.
We could do like road to the final, combined 11, and then the predictions. Could do.
Yes, the preview prediction and then so that's it. Yeah, hopefully I see Renk soon. Obviously next week, I believe. Next Tuesday or Wednesday, and depends whenever Renk is mostly free. We will do a quiz show. There will be a quiz show. There will be obviously the Chile Peru preview tomorrow, or no, today, actually, in a few hours with Albert. I'm gonna cook him. I'm gonna cook him.
You need to make a bet. You need to make some sort of bet, and then whoever loses the game has to do something or something.
So this is what's coming up. So obviously tomorrow I will be doing the South American qualifier prediction with Sammy. Johnny, he will be here. And obviously today with the Chile Peru preview with Albert. Albert, oof, I know he's scared. Then we have Sudamericana Libertadores predictions preview, combined 11 for both finals. And obviously we have the quiz show, the 17th. The 19th is the preview. I put it up one day forward. So thank you people for watching. Sadly, we could not do it earlier. We did it today, so it doesn't even matter anyways. So thank you, Renk, for joining. Vamos, Boca. Boca is saving football, winning both Libertadores and Copa. Vamos. Goodbye, people.